everybody, and welcome today. I'm once again joined by I was going to say like my compatriot, but like you're like the leader. I'm the herald of Barlow. I think I've been a couple times, so I'm the herald. Yes, but Barlow has joined me again today, and let's say hello.
Hi, everyone.
So we are going to talk today about the new Dungeons & Dragons frameworks that are coming by Wizkids?
Yes.
Wizkids,
yes.
right? So we got a couple preview copies. They sent us a couple of the, I can't remember what they're called, sneak peek copies for it. And we got the Human Druid, the Orc Barbarian, Elf Ranger, and the Dwarf Cleric. So they sent us 4 of it. And I gave Barlow one, and he glued it together and painted it from start to finish. I glued one together, and then also another guy at the store glued one together, and then I painted it just to show you what they look like. Because I didn't know Barlow was going to finish his from start to finish, and it looks glorious. We'll see him in the little spin shot.
My little weekend project.
I didn't think you would finish it all, so I was like, well, I got to paint this and get this done, so we have at least one painted. And then here's the Dwarf Cleric on the sprue. And yours was a single sprue too, right?
Yes,
I think they all come just a single sprue.
Yep. About 20 pieces, I think, on the sprue, and they're all numbered too on the sprues.
And we've had little talk before we started filming, and we had very different experiences with these. So I'll let you first. What did you like or dislike?
All right, my experience was a very, very positive experience with the models. The first thing that I liked about it was that I noticed as soon as I took it, look at the sprue, everything was numbered. And a lot of times you get models where they're not necessarily numbered, so you don't necessarily know how to build them and put them together. But as soon as I saw the numbers, I thought, oh, great, I won't have any difficulty. Then as I started looking at the pieces, it was very, very clear how the pieces went together. So instructions weren't even needed. There was no need for them to even be numbered, except just to help me to say, oh, this is the piece that I want as I go where I want to put it on the model. So it was very, very simple for me to realize, here's where this piece goes on the model. The body was a single piece. Mm-hmm. The arms, you could build the arms separately. There were so many options to build the Elf Ranger. So I chose to build the Elf Ranger with a cloak and with 2 weapons, and both weapons drawn. I could have built him with both weapons sheathed and with a bow, where he was shooting a bow, where he was holding a bow and holding a sword. I could have done with just a bow on his back, so with a backpack instead of a cloak. There were so many different options. 3 separate heads, in fact, that I went through. And I did a series of, as I went through, I kind of looked at each piece and figured where I wanted it to go on. I built one. So one of the heads had 2 pieces, and I put that together because I thought that might be the head that I wanted. I didn't really care for that head once I got it, together. So the other stuff that I didn't want to put, I left on the sprue, and it just fit together so well. I used plastic cement. The plastic is perfect for plastic cement. It holds very quickly, and it's easy to use. In fact, the cloak was so nice. I built it with the cloak not even on the model, because I thought, I'll make this modular so I can take it off. And then just as I got around the process, it would have very easily been able to slide on and off and use it without the cloak. But later in the process, when I was painting it, I realized I wanted it to stay secure, so it was easier to paint. So I ended up securing it on the model. I thought that, the pieces looked really good. One of the things that I liked about the model itself is that it has a more classic style of, more fantasy classic element. And there's enough detail to make it, to draw it out so you can paint some additional details, but it doesn't have, a million different parts that you have to, try 30 different colors on your model. If you are a strong painter, you can get plenty of mileage out of these. But if you're new as well, or you just are trying to get a model for your your role playing game, and you want to have something to do, you can do that very well. So my experience was very much a simple, easy to build, very nice final product, simple to paint and put together experience. And it was really, I think, because of the way that the sprue was laid out and the way that the model was designed to go together. So that was my experience.
Okay. So my experience was I did the human druid. I found the bits to be fiddly, like they were very tiny. Someone like the owl here would have like its wings are separate, like and so you had to glue the two little tiny wings. And I got I have big fingers, so like try to fat finger it, and then like the dagger thing, and like so I found the bits to be fiddly, and I think for that one specifically, if you're not used to gluing models together, you're brand new to it. I think you might have some struggles there with the minis. Now, I will say that they give you total convertibility. Like there's all kinds. Like they gave me horns that was part of the other head, but I clipped them off and then glued them to the other. Like, and they give you all kinds of bibs and bobs and lanterns and chests and backpacks and
all belt pouches and quivers. And
yes, and they actually fit a lot on one sprue. Like they really do. So
like you'll use half of those pieces or less when you actually build your model. Like you'll still have half those pieces more because there are so many options, and it's not like these models are 30 pieces to build. It's not a ton.
So they pack a lot on the sprue. I love and like the guy who did this one, every weapon that was on that sprue, he's like, no, that goes on his hip, this goes on his back, he's got this weapon, like he's like this guy is weaponed out, right? Like as I was painting, he turned out really got picked, everything else on his back. So they do give you a lot of that.
Yep.
Now I will say 100% agree with you. They paint up nice.
Oh yeah,
like they really do. They are a joy. They're a joy to paint.
Yep.
And also I think people will get a joy out of painting because it's your D&D character, right?
Yeah.
Or your roleplay character.
Yeah.
Like it's always nice when you're painting that roleplay because it's yours, right? This is your avatar or whatever. And
this is me in the world.
Me in the world, right? So you're like, I want to make it. Yeah.
I did have one small piece, and that was a belt pouch, which was an optional piece. And I did break out the tweezers to get that on. So I will say that was my experience with that. But all of the other parts, again, it was an optional part. And all of the other parts that I needed to build the model to make it, a playable model, nothing was fiddly for mine on the Elf Ranger.
No, they have a lot coming out too for them. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I think it's October 26th, I believe, is the release date for them. I'm actually really interested in the monsters, like the convertibility of the monsters and stuff, because they're big monsters. Yep. There's units of goblins and stuff that you're going to be able to mix and match arms and heads and stuff.
I'm definitely more interested in units than anything else because one of the things that they previewed was that some of the additional bits like you get on the sprues. With the units, they have things that you can, mark your model bases so that you can identify them differently, like through the battle. Like, so for example, I think the example that they use is, there's arrows that you can put onto the bases. So like, you can have a single arrow on a base for one, and then you have, like 2 arrows stuck into the ground would be 2, and like 3 arrows stuck in the ground for 3.
Which
model
goblin 1, 2, or 3 are there.
So instead of being numbered, there's something on there. Now, I mean, we've all done that before with making our models. Like we've got 1 tuft on this one, 2 tufts on this one, 3. We've done that with our bases. But this, they actually build model pieces onto the sprues that allow you to do that, and you can mix and match them with different models. So maybe you keep all the pieces that you do for your orcs and put them on your kobolds or something, or doing whatever your units are that you're pulling from.
Now, did you use plastic glue or super glue?
I know I use plastic cement.
I use plastic glue too. I was actually shocked. Like at first, when I started cutting them out, I'm like, I don't know if plastic glue is, but plastic glue does work.
That's exactly. I thought the same thing when I started with the plastic. I'm like, is it gonna? And it held perfect.
It did. No, plastic glue does work on the thing there. The one thing with the heroes though that I kind of think about is Norzul's miniature line that they already have, right? Have awesome heroes, and they come in packs of 2, and each 2 are different, right? You get human wizard, and the 2 in the pack are totally different from each other.
Oh,
and there's multiple human wizards I think throughout the line. You brought up that because I was like, I really didn't see a need for the characters other than you wanted to be 100% fully customized, and then you brought up a good point.
Well, there's Hero Forges where you can design your own miniature, and you get out there, you can design your miniature, you can make it fully customizable, 100% customizable, and then they print it, 3D print it and send it to you. The great thing about that is, you can have whatever you want, but it's expensive. The fact that it is expensive, this is a nice way to get a lot of the customizability, but at the same time, not require all the expense.
Yeah, it's not as you kind of lose some customability, but I see that. Like this might be an answer to them because it's not.
I think that's where. Yeah, I think that's why they. I think that's probably why they decided to come up with this line.
Yeah, and like I said, you can there's a lot of customization in these hero figs, so I don't want to like ward people away from it. But like if you're brand new to the hobby, you might want to just stick with the Norzul's miniature line, right? Be like, here's my human. Find the human wizard you like and pick the one.
Yeah,
you like,
especially if you've never built a model.
If you've never built a model. Hello, it's me again. So instead of trying to trick you with my super duper editing skills that I have, I figured I'd share. I did 3 of the 4 preview figs, and I was like, let me do the 4th fig after we shot the video to see if I had a different experience than I did with the
Human Druid.
So we had the Dwarf Cleric, which was the 4th one, and I can say it was a totally different experience. It went together better. It doesn't have as thin or as fiddly bits as the
Human Druid
did. During the interview or me and Barlow talking, I had said that you would have to be experienced with gluing minis before you could do this. The Dwarf Cleric, that's not true. I think you could pick up the sprue. They're easily labeled. The picture on the box shows you where all the the pieces and everything go. And it went together really well. It was an enjoyable experience. It took me like 10 minutes.
Human Druid.
It took me like 45 minutes. And granted, it might just be because I have big sausage fingers, and so
Human Druid
has the thinner parts and stuff like that. But I just wanted to share that with you. So we did get all 4 of them glued together. 3 of the 4 went together really well. The
Human Druid.
It looks great. And had tons of options like they all do. It just was a little bit more complicated of a model to put together. I appreciate you listening to this PSA, and back to our regular scheduled video. Should start building models.
Yes, definitely.
Because that's the fun in it, right?
Yeah.
That's the fun.
And then once you start building other models, you should check out some of our other videos on the games that you should be playing with those models
With
that you built.
the models that are coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thumbs up, right?
Oh yeah, big fan.
Thumbs up, big fan, right?
I want to say,
enjoy these.
This was a wonderful preview. I thought that just the experience with this definitely made me interested in buying more. When they come out, I'm super excited to see the different ones. Like you said, the monsters, really excited about those, and the heroes, just the pure customizability that you can get out of this one sprue is just great.
It's great.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the future with it. And I think they're going to be. Is it $14.99 or $15.99 or somewhere? I think just the hero figs are around there. So they're way more expensive than the other ones, but like it's more customizable, right? You're building your own hero.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I believe these come out on October 26th. I think I read somewhere that's the release date. So yeah, we really appreciate y'all stopping by. If you do enjoy these videos, please leave a like and subscribe. We really, really do appreciate it. And anything else, Barlow?
Oh, just look for these models. And again, you should be building models. If you don't build models now, you should
start
be
now.
Models.
Start practicing now for your fully customizable framework.
And that way, when you watch the video of why you should play the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, you'll be all ready.
Oh, correct.
Watch that video. You need to be playing it.
All right, y'all. We appreciate it, and y'all have a great one.